Hi friends, in this presentation I am going to walk you through the structure of our M.Sc in Computational Linguistics program at the Center for Transdisciplinary Studies at our university. Before moving to the program itself, let me give you a brief intro about the center itself. So the center, as you see, is established this year and is established as a platform where multiple disciplines could come together and work together as one unit, and that could lead to solving some of the common problems. The idea is that different departments could propose programs in a study that require expertise from different disciplines without the need of interfering with the traditional roles that the individual departments play. And so running these kinds of programs within one department might be not very fruitful. So that was the reason why this was proposed, the center, and some of those kind of programs, the transdisciplinary programs, could include in the areas of data sciences, digital humanities, or artificial intelligence. The flagship program of the center, as you could see, is the Computational Linguistics and M.Sc in Computational Linguistics. Let's move to the motivation. Why do we need this program? So, natural language processing or computational linguistics, as we're calling it, it's present all around us. So, it's becoming more and more ubiquitous as the day passes. So, we could take a look at something like digital assistants that has become or has started becoming a very regular device, regular gadget in our homes, a very close approximation to robots, although they don't move, but you could talk to them, and there is a natural language interface with those. So then we have other areas, other places where we use computational linguistics every day. I'm sure you must be already aware of a lot of these applications. So, for example, in mobiles, we use predictive keyboards, voice typing, also the digital assistants in mobiles, in devices. You could give voice commands, messages. You could ask your laptops or mobiles to read out the messages that have come. You don't have to read it yourself. In your home, even in something like a car or a bike, probably nowadays. But then you have things like Amazon Echo, or would have other voice-based interfaces. So you have these things called smart homes, and smart homes generally rely a lot on voice-based instructions. So instructions for switching on the light, for picking up the phone, for changing radio station. So anything, and a lot of other things that could be done by these digital assistants. If you are at your office, at your work, or even at leisure, so you could search articles on internet, you could translate a document. All of these are done by computational linguistics applications. And you could so there are now applications which could recognize the handwriting and save the things that you write down, not just as an image but as a text actually. So you could do some mundane stuff like booking the flight tickets without actually typing. You could know the average ratings of a product, so that's the sentiment of a product, and in legal domains, so it can even win a court case for you. There are more applications, so speech processing and recognition, speech synthesis. There are things like multilingual document processing. I've already talked about some of these things here. So sentiment analysis, topic modeling. So these are the some of the broader areas in which computational linguistics work, or so to say, the broader sub-disciplines, sub-areas of computational linguistics. So some of the more recent areas of interest, such as content moderation or fake news detection, so hate speech detection. There are psychological state detection systems, so whether you are depressed or whether you are happy, so if it could automatically recognize if somebody is depressed, there could so necessary action could be taken, people could be alerted about those states. So crimes, if there are crimes, if people are going to commit crimes, or so for example things like we see these explosive news about live videos which are uh, where people are committing crimes. So if those could be automatically recognized, those could be checked, handled, and there are much more. There are numerous other sub areas where computational linguistics is the key. It's the key technology that could actually solve those issues. And you have these different domains, a lot of different domains where you could have. So the application of computational linguistics, so things like conversational AI, so digital assistants that I was talking about, the legal domain, in agriculture. So it's not possible, or there are lots of instances where farmers couldn't read all the information on the internet. So if you could collate the information, you could extract the necessary information and then read it out for them, that could probably be much more helpful via question answering system. Even in domains such as business management or tourism, so ticket booking is just one part of tourism, but if you look at the larger pictures, even things like machine translation or speech-to-speech translation could help a lot in boosting tourism. Entertainment, where you have this automatic captioning that's coming up slowly, but then you could have speech to text translations, and that could be automatically captioned and things like that. So it could be used in all of these places, and there are much more so it depends a lot. So the kinds of application and kinds of things that we could build using computational linguistics might seem limited in the first instance, but if you look at the domains across which those could be used in various different ways, it's kind of infinite uses. Now the big question is, where are our languages? So what we have is there are hardly any technology or resources to talk about. So you could probably very recently, and it's a very, I think last year or this year, that Amazon released its Echo, which could talk in Hindi as well, but then most of the other Indian languages, they are missing. So predictive keyboards, yes, for a lot of languages, but not for all of the languages. Also, the problem is that there's not enough expertise to work on all languages. So in the sense that uh, computational linguistics is not really formally taught in our universities, in our institutions, and as far as I know, there are hardly a couple of institutions where computational linguistics is offered as a dedicated program of study. Right. So the primary objective behind this M.Sc in computational linguistics is to train students for research, and to to contribute to the whole of this computational linguistics research in general, and more specifically for our languages, for Indian languages, or more broadly for South Asian languages. Of course, the secondary objective is also to train students for working in and with the industry. So if you are not really into research, you want a job, so the program will also train you for that as well. So the primarily, when we are training you for research, such is the nature of the field, that industry and academia actually work very closely together in computational linguistics. So you also get trained for working with the industry for tech jobs. Say. Let's come to the structure of the program itself. I'll give you a brief overview of the structure. So there are 4 departments that are collaborating for this program. So linguistics, mathematics, statistics, and computer science. Linguistics is the coordinating department, and then the 3 other departments, they will contribute equally in the teaching of the courses in the program. In this program, also we have some industry partners. So industry partners are not so they may or may not be the formal partners, but we have faculties from Microsoft Research India and Panlink, and a couple of other people that we are already in conversation with, who would like to come on board and co-teach the courses in this program. So this partnering primarily would mean that we would have lectures, regular lectures and courses being offered by people working in these different places, these different companies. Okay, so let's say entry and exit points. So if you have a bachelor's in any discipline, you could apply for admission in the program. You should have a minimum of 45% marks, which is kind of bare minimum, and after 2 years you will get a M.Sc in Computational Linguistics. There is an option for lateral entry. However, we are not starting this straight away. It has to be decided if it will be started, and if it has to be, then only after 2023. We would want to know how many people are interested in lateral entry, and also if they'll be able to cope with this or not. And there are more stringent criteria for lateral entry. If that happens, so you have to have a degree in one of the related fields. So any bachelor's would not get a lateral entry. Also, there will be a compulsory entrance test for lateral entry, but not for now. So 2023 or after, and we'll announce this if it opens up. All right. So the courses, there are 4 groups of courses, obviously from the 4 departments. So Group A is Language Sciences or Linguistics, Group B is Computer Science, Group C is Mathematics and Statistics, and Group D is the Natural Language Processing or Core Computational Linguistics courses. Now, each of these groups, there are at least 4 soft core, what we call soft core courses. And which of these groups a student would need to complete? So they are soft core because not everyone would be required to complete, but whosoever would be required to complete the courses from any one of these groups will have to complete all the courses in that group. So that will be decided individually for each student based on an assessment test. And so basically we would expect that if you have a background in, say, computer science, you won't need to do Group B courses as core. Or if you have a background in linguistics, probably you won't need to do Group A courses. Of course, Group B courses are core compulsory for everyone. All right. So in order to get the M.Sc, you need a minimum of 60 credits. And if lateral entry starts, then 50 credits for the students to get a lateral entry. As I said, that the structure assumes that the students will be required to do some courses from all the 4 groups, which is not very which is highly likely, but not necessary. So now for each of the soft core course that they are not required to be done, it could be replaced by an elective from any group, but not necessarily. So it could take an elective course as well. Now, in the first semester, you'll have to do at least 20 credits, and of course, you could do more than that. You'll have to do one soft core course from each of the group B, C, and D. Now, there's a catch here. Because if you are not required to do soft core from B and C, so D is compulsory, as I said, for everyone, but if you are not required to do from group B and C, then you could do other electives from these groups, from the other groups, or from any other groups. So also there are, if you have to do group A, then in the first semester you have to do 2 soft courses from group A, additional electives from group or SN. So second semester, 16 credits minimum, and then 16 credits is minimum in the sense that if you have to do 4 courses from all the 4 groups, then you will have to do one soft course from each of them. So that's 16 credits, and then you have to do electives and from one of these groups or any other department. So it's kind of open in that sense. Semester 3 very similar to semester 2. Except that now in semester 3 you will start, the first thing that will start is the work on dissertations. You'll have to start thinking on the dissertation, and we'd expect that in first couple of months we would have some proposal for the dissertation, uh, which has to be so dissertation we would expect that will have a strong practical component to it, an application development part to it, but also it has to make some theoretical contribution. Also, so you'll be required to do a capstone project or an internship, and this is optional. So this could be done either in this third semester or in the final semester, and it depends on you. Generally, we recommend doing it in the third semester because there might be more stuff to do in the fourth semester, and might be doing a lot of other stuff as well. So internships, of course, could be done at other. So if you don't want to do internship, we again recommend internship. But if you don't want to do that, or if you cannot do that for certain reasons, then capstone project for a semester, which has to be different from your dissertation. Last semester, again very similar to the second and third semester. Of course, you will continue working on dissertation, your dissertation as well while doing some of these courses. One of the things is that you could actually do additional elective courses in the first two semesters or in the first three semesters, so that you have more time for your dissertation in the last semester. So this is not it's up to you how you plan the whole thing. Of course, the faculty members and all of us would be there to help you out, to advise you how to do it and how to go about it. And but we would generally also expect you to plan it out how to do it. So it's not, and that's the reason why it's the distribution of credits in each semester is rather fluid. It's not. It's not that you have to complete a certain number of credits in each semester, but overall you have to do 90 credits. So that has to be kept in mind. All right. Now, of course, we have collaboration with industry and external institutions who would be doing the honorary or visiting positions, who would be teaching course sharing. They'll have office space where you could have discussions with them. The joint supervision internships could be done in their institutions or in their, uh, you know, in their companies, and there could also be resources that you could use with them. So we'll have all of this figured out, and this will be kind of again fluid. So certain institutions will come in and certain semesters, and certain industry partners will come in certain semesters, not all the semesters. We'll try to make it as good as possible. All right. So now, if you have any further question about our program or about any of these, so you could write to us at this calling.CTRANS, and hopefully you're already on this website watching this presentation, so you could contact us using one of the contact links here. You could get more information. You could download all the structures in this presentation as well on this website. Thank you very much.